Hello, and welcome to episode 32 of the Starchild podcast. I'm Starchild, your host. Just a quick reminder, I am going to be debuting my Twitch channel at Official Starchild over at twitch.tv, so be sure to follow me there. I will provide the link in the description below. I am so excited to have today's guest. They are a Canadian-based cryptid, club kid, drag performance artist, fashion designer, and Dragula Season 3 contestant. They are Yovska. Hello, Yovska.
Hi, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, my first question is where does the name Yovska come from? What is its origin?
So it's actually my birth name. I was born with this name, and I guess I just use it for my everyday everything now. I guess I got pretty lucky with it,
Well, I just love the
so
sound of it.
no one can ever take it from me.
That's right.
I
Well,
had first dibs on it.
yeah, that's right. Well, I truly think that you're one of a kind. I love how original you are, and I just wanted to know where you draw some of your inspiration from. Does it
Yeah,
come
thanks so much.
from?
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think I really take my inspiration from like a pool of like different sources, like a eclectic mix of things, really. From video games to true fashion to animals and like creatures, horror. I'm a big horror fan as well. So I just have so many interests from like different places. Anything weird, bizarre, anything different is really, I guess, what makes up Yovska. And I tend to go through little phases of obsessions. And right now, I'm having a bit of a horror obsession again. So I'm watching a lot of horror films, revisiting a lot of stuff like that. So it's always curious to see what I'm going to be into next. But yeah, that's kind of like my current thing right now.
That's fantastic. For those that don't know, could you briefly describe what exactly a cryptid is?
So a cryptid, I guess, by paranormal terms, is a creature that has yet to be proven or scientifically, analyzed or proven to be real. So things like Bigfoot, things like
Hmm.
chupacabra, those would be considered cryptids. Aliens are not considered cryptids, but I also think they're cool.
Because they are proven?
No, because they're not like animals that are living on the earth, I guess,
Oh, okay.
by those means. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're considered cryptids, or ghosts aren't considered cryptids either.
Yeah. Um, well, I found you, as many did, on Dragula season 3, and then I had the opportunity to actually see you live here in Seattle on Halloween night. Actually,
Yeah, that was so awesome with Abora at a queer bar.
well, yeah, what a fun night! And
It was
you
really
did,
awesome.
you had this demon lobster look put
Oh
together,
my god.
and combined with a performance to Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights. And I just thought that was just such a magical moment, and I was just kind of blown away by it all. So,
Yeah, that outfit smells awful now from so many times I've done that butter performance. I'll put it in the wash, God knows how many times, and I can't put anything else in the wash with it because then it will also smell like butter. Yeah, it's kind of a wild story for
lobster
sure.
and butter.
Yeah, no, it was really funny actually. That fabric that I used to make the lobster performance with, I was with Hollow in LA, and we went to a thrift store, and Hollow E from Dragula as well, and we came across this fabric, and they were like, "Yovska, you need to definitely get this fabric," and like I was like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm not really sure it's my style." But like I was like considering it, and then like Hollow just insisted that I get the fabric. I don't remember. I think they bought it for me, or I bought it myself. But like I was like really like conflicted of whether or not I should buy it because I'm
Hmm.
like I don't know if I'm gonna use this. But I ended up using it, and it became my whole lobster performance.
I
And I'm like,
absolutely
oh, I'm
love
gonna
it.
mix in the lobster rock song, and it just became a thing. So that was really fun.
I just love the world that you've created, and it's so vast and so multi-layered, and you are definitely just one of the hardest working artists that I've seen
Oh, thank
today.
you so
You
much.
have so many looks, all of which are more amazing than the last. Um, can you describe the look that you're wearing now, and maybe tell people a little bit of your creative process, what prompts, what kind of sparks the initial idea to put together a new look?
Yeah, for sure. I think my inspirations always started from somewhere. So for this this look, I was binge watching this I think it was this British kids TV show called what was it called? Uh what was it? Gory Tales for Spooky Kids. No, Gruesome Tales for no Grisly Tales for Gruesome Kids. That's what it was called. And it was just like an analogy based kind of like I'm not sure if are you familiar with Freaky Stories?
Freaky Stories?
Are you familiar with that show? It's also like a kids TV show, and they have it's kind of analogy based, but it's cartoons of like different things that happen. So it's
Mm-mm.
kind of like that. It's like think of like Twilight Zone, but like
Okay.
more kids, and it's like really spooky. So they have like a bunch of really weird cartoon looking characters, and I was like, oh, I'm getting inspired by this. I was also watching this Canadian show from like the mid 2000s called What It's Like to Be Alone, and it's basically like this really crass like clay animation show of like these orphans that are like monsters living in this isolated sort of area in Canada. But I was really inspired by some of the character designs. Like there was a character that had two heads, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if I did kind of like a conjoined sort of twin thing. And they were all like there was like one kind of creature that was with two heads at the same time. So I was trying to think of ways to kind of do that with fabric, with that's my main medium for everything.
Yeah, with your
And
looks, there's
so,
just so much to look at. I mean, it just
yeah,
doesn't.
sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but sometimes it comes out really cool. So I guess I'm always really experimental with what I do. I try to do things that I haven't done before because I get tired of the same thing really fast, which is why
Mhm.
nothing of mine ever looks exactly the same, but it looks like it's from the same realm.
We can tell you just draw from so many other different kind of artistic mediums that you wear on your body. Are you familiar with the performance artist Leigh Bowery from the 1980s?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Leigh Bowery is probably like my biggest influence that I
Mm-hmm.
get from another artist. I think they're the first time I've seen a mass drag for sure. Or, I mean, I'm not sure if they consider themselves a drag performer, but masked performance artists or masked,
Mm-hmm.
wearable art and actually becoming a new character, transforming yourself through mask making. So huge inspiration for sure. And I remember watching the documentary about them and just hearing how they really lived through these characters, like performance wise,
Mm-hmm.
and how they would spend so much time sewing away and creating these costumes just for the hell of it. That really inspired me to kind of, I guess, the way that I work, and I just keep creating costumes and new looks. I don't like wearing the same thing too often, but yeah, I really admire their work for sure.
Yeah, and I think you and a few others really do carry on that tradition that he really set the bar for, and I just love it. Um, so you're based in Toronto, Canada, and lately you have been teaching with the coronavirus pandemic. You've been teaching online fashion courses. Am I getting that right? Or you're teaching?
Well, it was more like like a one-time sort of DIY
Mhm.
drag workshop. I don't really do a lot of like fashion wearable stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's something I've been thinking about getting into, but I feel like fashion is just such a sometimes different realm from what I usually do,
Hmm.
where I'm trying to not look too human, but
Right.
just uncanny close enough. But I've taught mask making workshops. This new one was like a DIY drag workshop where it was just like materials you could find around the house. So I have started getting into like showing people how I do some of my stuff. Though I do like to keep a lot of it secret because a magician never reveals all their secrets.
Sure. Yeah. I do love that there are just kind of a handful of us out there that really kind of uh, carry on that tradition that Lee Bowery really began with his morph suits. And a similarity that I would kind of draw between you two is just the vast body of work over um, his entire life. Same with you. I mean, just the number of looks and how amazing they are. is truly astounding. And so I just really appreciate you coming on the podcast today. What are you up to lately? I saw that you also create these kind of custom made, or we're thinking of making these custom made Yovska dolls too.
Okay, so well, first of all, thank you. Yeah, and also with the Yovska dolls, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bad with like, I'll be like, hey guys, I'm gonna be creating these things, and then like, I take a while, long ass, because I get distracted really easily with other
Yeah,
projects as well.
right.
So yeah, Yovska dolls have been on the board for quite a while, and I mean, I've been slowly working on some stuff. I'm hoping with this next look that I'm making, actually, I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you really quickly. I'm making like this like mask, and I have a lot of this fabric, so I might be able to make a lot of Yovska dolls. But I mean, you can't really see it because it's on a head form yet. But I put a little squeaky toy inside, so it's gonna be super fun when this one's done. But I'm hoping to actually, once I reveal this look, to maybe put out a few Yovska dolls.
Hmm.
Handmade, one of a kind. But yeah, sometimes I feel like I get so sidetracked with so many things to do. Making costumes takes me quite a while now since I tried to be more detailed than before, and I tried to really up myself. So sometimes, a look can take me like a week to do, depending on what I'm doing with it, and I'll work on it slowly every day. Because I also don't like to spend all day just working on stuff. I like to also, watch movies or play video games. Like re-energize those creative juices.
Hmm. But I mean,
So
all handmade. I mean, and just the skill and craftsmanship and the detail and knowing, being, a designer, knowing that everything that you do is design. It's just, I just see so much creativity and work on you, and it's just so amazing. So the plush dolls are still on the board right now because you
oh
probably
yeah, for
have
sure.
such a high demand, and it does take time to make.
So this is like one that I started a little bit based on my red jester.
I love it.
I still got to finish the body. I mean,
Cryptid
I started this
gesture.
a while ago, but it's one of those things where it's like also this also takes me a long time to do. I used to make dolls before I did drag
Hmm. Well,
as part of the
other than
project.
the dolls, you do have an Etsy shop, right?
Yes, right now my Etsy shop just has Yovska shirts and a poster. I was hoping to put out a few more products, but my supplier is based in the US. So a lot of their things got slowed down
Hmm.
due to COVID, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
It's happening everywhere. But it's kind of like, oh, bummer, I had this new design ready to go, so I guess I'll have to wait. You know, Slow and steady, always works. So,
Okay.
be on the lookout for stuff like that.
Are those
And to
shirts still
be more
available
on
on
task to
Etsy?
get that stuff out.
Are those shirts still available on Etsy?
Yes, my shirts are still available there. So,
Okay,
but I'm
fan.
hoping to get a new design out whenever this thing starts getting a little bit better.
Yeah, I sure hope it goes away so you can come back to Seattle and I can see you perform live again because I just love you
Yeah,
so
I would
much.
love
And
to. Seattle was beautiful.
yeah, especially this time of year. Oh my gosh. Same with Canada. I love Canada so much as
Yeah, I mean,
well.
I think Seattle has pretty similar weather to Toronto, and that. Well, I mean, I guess not
Yeah,
super similar, but similar. I guess climates because we're in the same, I guess, area in the northern hemisphere.
yeah.
Um, so you guys, I guess, it would be really similar to BC, and BC is really beautiful. So
Well, I'm just so grateful for the internet that cryptids, club kids, drag performers can all find each other and link up and just talk to each other and talk about what sparks our creativity and what influences us. So thank you again so much for being on the podcast.
oh yeah, thank you. You're very sweet, and
You're welcome to Seattle anytime, and I hope to see you again very soon.
yeah, thank you. I
All right.
love it.
Thank you again. All right. See you later.
I see ya.
Bye. So that was Yovska. Um, you can check them out at Yovska Instagram. I will provide their Etsy shop in the description below as well. Please support them. They are just one of the most talented people that I have ever seen, really since Leigh Bowery. And we just need to support one another, especially in the arts during the COVID pandemic. Without the arts, humans There's not much that really differentiate humans from the rest, and art allows us to express our individual creativity. And I hope every one of us takes the time to explore our imagination and creativity a little bit more, for it is very therapeutic. So thank you again, Yovska, for being on the podcast. Again, I will be debuting my Twitch channel over at twitch.tv at official Starchild. Go over there and follow me for exclusive content. You could chat with me and see other exclusive content, including video games, and go over to starchildgallery.com for all my links and custom-made merch. So thank you again, and tune in for another week's episode of the Starchild podcast.